Well, our next speaker is Rob Norris. Rob has spent his career in corporate communications with Duke Energy, Cummins, and now his own consultancy, along with 2 partners. But his first love is history. When he was 48, he went back to school to get a master's degree in history. That wasn't a career change exactly, but it did help later when he was offered a job as an instructor at Butler University. Rob today teaches there in the College of Communications, but he keeps bringing history lessons into it. He says he can't help himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Rob Norris to our stage.
Thank you very much. You know, we know how stories are supposed to go, don't we? We've been to the movies. All right, Erin Brockovich, she's broke, but she goes to work for a lawyer and wins a $330 million lawsuit. Maximus, he's busted from general to gladiator, but he kills the evil emperor and saves Rome. Rocky is a minor prize fighter, but he gets a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world and he goes the distance. Great plots, lots at stake, and you know that at some point along the line, all is going to be lost. But these are heroes. They don't let that happen. They don't listen to naysayers. They don't quit. That's the way it goes in the movies. In the movies, if you believe in yourself enough and you keep trying, you never lose. You never lose in the movies. We've come to expect this. We expect this so much that I think that may be influencing the way we think about good leadership. They don't make movies about people who fail. Let me tell you a story about something that they never made a movie about. At least the French never made a movie about it. Okay? This is called Napoleon's Retreat from Moscow. All right, now Napoleon Bonaparte, of course, greatest general of his age. His armies conquered all of Europe, and in June of 1812, he invaded Russia at the head of the biggest army that ever had existed. Let me show you something. I know this is incomprehensible, but I want you to look at this. It's a map. It's a map. See, this is the campaign. This beige line at the top, that's his army going into Russia, toward Moscow. And the black line, that's the army coming back out. Yeah. Starts as big as the palm of your hand and ends up like a pencil lead, doesn't it? What happened? Well, first of all, when Napoleon was warned by his people, saying, you know, supply lines, Russian winters, he said, the Tsar is going to sue for peace the moment he sees my face. The nobles will never risk their palaces. They'll make him sue for peace. So he goes into Russia at the head of this army, and his men start dropping like flies. They got typhus. Typhus has a 95% kill rate. By the time he got to Moscow, 3/4 of his army was dead. But he went to the Tsar's palace, and he sat there, and he called in one of his advisors, and he said, so where's your Russian winter? This is as pleasant as a fall day at Fontainebleau. And the man warned him and said, you know, look, when Russian winters come, it's like a bombshell. And he urged him to get his army back to Europe now. And Napoleon said, I'm going to send peace feelers to the Tsar. He'll like my terms. He'll sue for peace. Everything will be great. And he waited 6 precious weeks for a reply that never came. And finally, on the 19th of October, he ordered the retreat. And it looked kind of like this, because the French, you see, didn't have any winter clothes. The horses had not been roughshod. They didn't have too many supplies. And so they had to go out into the worst winter in living memory, a nightmare. The roads were so slick a man could barely stand up. The horses couldn't make it up the hills, and they died in the attempt. And the troops ate them and left the artillery in the snow. When they came to the Berezina River, French engineers had to work in chest-deep, icy slush to build these bridges. And when the men got across them, Napoleon, in his freshly polished boots, ordered them dynamited, leaving men, 38,000 of them, on the wrong side of the river. What's the bottom line, folks? It looks like this. 98% died. Out of every 100 Frenchmen who marched on Moscow, only 2 made it home. You know something? Leaders do need determination, but they also need to live in the real world, because Hollywood is not scripting the conclusion.